Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Galley La Podcast. I'm your host, Geboss, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Akainu Fanboy.
Yo.
And today, since we're kind of into the swing of Elbaf right now, and we kind of have some idea about where the story's going to take us, I went ahead and made like 25 predictions so that it fits like on a bingo board to see if anything will come true and if I get a bingo. And this is going to contain spoilers from up to chapter 1133, and let us know your predictions and if you agree with what I think is going to happen or not. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So the first thing I was going to have as the middle square, because that's the free space, is the Robin and Saul reunion, which we saw in 1133. So we're already good with that one. And then, so that's one reunion, and then another reunion that I think is going to happen. I think Vivi's going to finally join back up with the Straw Hats.
Yeah, I think that's a good shot of that happening for sure. They have so many other people already with Bonnie and Vegapunk.
Yeah, and I think that the whole thing where Robin saw in the newspaper the whole X thing that Vivi probably put on there to signal to the Straw Hats that she's with Morgans, and I don't know, I feel like now would be the perfect time for her to rejoin, because after Elbaf, I feel like we're going to be in the final part of the story, you know?
And where else she'll have a hard time getting back with her people. If Oda wanted her to be back with her people, they would have just did it right at the Reverie, but that didn't happen. Maybe Garp could have defended her to get back with her people. So I think it's more likely she just joins up with the Straw Hats, because maybe the Revolutionary she could meet up with, but I think it's way more likely she meets up with the Straw Hats.
Yeah. Especially because I think Emu's after her because she's a D, which leads into my next prediction, is that we're going to get more Will of D lore, because we have Saul, who's a D, who has all the rescued information from the library of Ohara on Elbaf right now. So he probably knows a lot about it. He could potentially even know what the Will of D stands for and everything. And then if we bring in Vivi and Luffy's there and everything, I feel like we have a good shot to get more lore about that, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then speaking of lore, along with that, I feel like we're gonna get like more Void Century lore, again with the Library of Ohara stuff. Because
probably next two chapters at the library. What was it, the Owl Library? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this is like the perfect time to do that. Because Oda wouldn't have set it all up with the Giants rescuing all that information for the Straw Hats not to use it, you know?
Yeah, and so this would be perfect timing, and you have Vegapunk with them as well.
Yeah. And then more lore. I feel like we're gonna get more on the Sun God stuff, because I feel that's gonna relate to Luffy with Nika and everything, and that could relate to the Void Century with Joy Boy. And just the Sun God is a known entity on Elbaf, because we got the name drop back in Big Mom's flashback and everything, and we had Roto like LARPing as the Sun God in his like little Lego Elbaf that he was ruling over. So I feel like we're going to learn more about that too. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that as well.
And now this is the section that I title Returns. So I think because every other supernova is covered, I feel this is the time we're going to get Rouge in the story.
It has to. Absolute justice requires it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know where else he would fit in narrative-wise, and I don't even know how he would fit in Elbaf, unless he's like in the underworld forest. You know, like he got defeated and he's living there.
Yeah. Which is possible. I mean, Kid got defeated nearby, so why not multiple supernova, you know?
Yeah, well, that's my next point, is that the Kid pirates are going to make a comeback. Because
I agree with that.
Yeah, it makes sense. I didn't put Law on there because I'm not sure what. Like, I feel like Kid, because he was taken down on Elbaf, that he has a bigger chance of impacting the story.
Yeah, and hopefully, I'd kind of prefer Law's had enough screen time for me, at least for now, and I just don't want it to get too crowded like Wano again. So I keep it minimal. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. But speaking of Wano, though,
no.
Yeah, I think because she has so much significance with Elbaf and everything, I feel like Big Mom is going to make some sort of return. I don't know how, but I just feel that there's that one string that, like, we don't know why she was unable to get well, we kind of know why she was unable to get the giants, but we don't know exact. I feel like that plot thread needs to be pulled on more, you know? Also, this is my thing. Because Zeus is alive, I feel that Big Mom is alive, you know? Because I don't see how a part of her soul can live on.
There's kind of one thought I had where, yeah, I think it's too much. I don't think she should have been in Wano, and she should have just been in this arc. Like I said in the last review. But I will say that when it comes to, let's just say, I think it is an interesting thematic point where Luffy fought Kaido with Gear 5. He'll probably fight Shanks and Blackbeard in Gear 5. So it would be interesting if he fought Big Mom in Gear 5 as well. Kind of just connects everything, you know?
Yeah, because, Big Mom, I don't think even saw Gear 5.
No, she didn't, no.
Yeah.
So that might kind of link to her past and everything like that in her story. I like it makes a lot of sense on narrative level, way more than Wano. So I think there's a good shot that, you know, she shows up again. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to shit on Wano too much, but
really? Oh, let's do that. That's probably why I showed up today.
But yeah, I feel like if Big Mom had not been on Wano, I don't know how much would have changed. But
Yep. Like I said, it was crowded.
Yeah.
But so what's your next one?
Well, it relates kind of like we were talking about Gear 5, like, and fighting. I think we're gonna get, this is my Loki section. So I think Luffy is gonna fight Loki at some point. Whether or not it's like a full-on fight or it's a spar or something. But I think it would be like a cool visual thing, like going back even to like the sun god thing. Loki himself proclaimed that he was the sun god. So like you get this fake sun god versus this real sun god, and it would be an interesting thing, especially because we've seen Luffy grow big, like fighting Kaido and Saturn and everything. If we get like a full-on giant fight between him and Loki, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a good shot of that happening too.
Yeah, especially if Luffy like does whatever Loki told him to do, and it proves to be negative for Elbaf. He could go and fight him. Okay, so this point, I'm willing to take an L on, but I feel like because he said like he's the sun god and everything, I feel like Loki's gonna have a goofy devil fruit.
I think that's possible for sure. With this, I mean, I kind of be upset, you know, because I kind of like it when you just kind of keep badass characters badass for One Piece. I mean, the only ones that we've really done that for is maybe like Akainu, Lucci,
I mean,
Odin was nothing. Odin had a goofy part to him too, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you can take like a goofy devil fruit and make it badass, like Katakuri with his mochi fruit.
I thought you were about to say Kaku.
No. Well, he is badass, and he's a square giraffe.
Yes.
But
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my out there prediction, and
I just kind of feel like we've had that so many times, and I kind of hope that's not the case, but I can be proven wrong. It's just, we've had that just so many times, like a goofy devil fruit, and then like turned out to be lethal kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. But I will say that because Loki had to kill his father to get the devil fruit, it might not be because of that. Like, it could be like a really strong devil fruit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my out there prediction. And my other prediction for Loki is that he's actually a good guy. Like, I don't know. I get the vibe that that Oda's gonna throw us for a loop with his character. Like, I don't get the whole sinister nature of him, you know. I feel eventually like he's gonna be somewhat moral in a way.
I guess the only reason I have a hard time saying that is because every giant we've been introduced to is a really good person, so we need a contrast.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So, and it would be kind of weird if all the good giants felt the need to imprison someone who was actually good when everybody's been introduced as good. Even the ones in the Big Mom flashback have all been introduced as good. Yeah. And the giants are kind of like treated as an oppressed race, you know, already, you know. I think he has the potential to be like an actually good villain type Hody Jones, but actually dangerous kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm still, I don't know. I guess Loki is like a trickster thing, so maybe I'm kind of like influenced because of that, you know.
Yeah.
He's not what he seems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Luffy's really gullible.
Yeah. But so I have a couple Shanks related predictions. So one is we're gonna get the Shanks and Luffy reunion this arc. Do you think that's too... People always say that it's too soon, but I mean, Luffy's Yonko, he has Gear 5. He took on the Gorosei and everything. Well, do you think that he's at the point where he could meet back up with Shanks?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a point where Shanks more or less said he is ready now, you know? So, I mean, yeah, I definitely think he's ready for sure.
Yeah, especially with, like, Shanks being involved with Elbaf and everything. There's like, a non-zero chance of him showing up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, it's definitely time.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fitting place for Usopp to meet his dad at this island, Land of Warriors, all that jazz too. So.
Yeah. And then, but with this reunion, I feel that once Luffy knows that Shanks is gonna go for the One Piece, because I kind of picture it like Shanks could meet up with Luffy and try and discourage him from going after the One Piece for some reason. And then I feel like Luffy's gonna have this big moment where he officially like goes against Shanks in a race for the One Piece. Like not as like a bad guy, as like a fellow pirate. Like you're my rival now. I feel like that would be a good moment for Luffy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so this is the poneglyphs section. So I feel like we're gonna get the man marked by flames reveal, the burn scar reveal, however translation wants to call it. So I feel like we're gonna get that because it relates to the next point, which is the final road poneglyph is gonna be found. I think after Elbaf we're at the point where it's going to be on a full-on race to the One Piece at this point. And finding out these things will kind of tie everything together. I feel like with this last chapter, we had Saul reintroduced, and we see that he's burned with scars and everything from when he was defawed. But I feel like that's a red herring that Oda's planting, because we talked about this a little bit in our review. Like, why would Saul have like the ability to control whirlpools and everything to sink ships?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and also, but I can't really see Shanks having that ability either, kind of thing. You know,
he's a hockey guy.
Yeah, so it's still, I think it's still a big mystery who that person could be. Yeah,
but I think
maybe, yeah. I think we will too. Yeah, the only power that kind of sounds similar was like that storm that happened between Shiki and Roger in episode 0.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing that kind of remotely relates to that when I think about it, you know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Shiki, I feel my next thing is that the shadow figure is going to be Scopper Gabon, but you think it's going to be Shiki.
No, I think it's going to be Scopper.
Okay. Yeah, that's my next point. But do you think that Shiki's going to play into the story at all, like in a canon way?
If it's not done here, it's not going to be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think someone did point out while I was reading stuff, when like Haruden and I think it's Stassen, the other giant who was hunting the moose, I think they said that moose was from Strong World. Like that design.
Oh, interesting.
So, which is where Shiki was introduced. So, who knows?
Yeah.
But anyway, I have two kind of Straw Hat related predictions. One, Usopp character development / power up. I feel that's going to be a given for this arc.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's.
And I guess when you were saying when Luffy was ready to meet Shanks, I guess like for me, him meeting his dad, I don't know if he's ready to meet his dad yet. You know, so maybe he has like a little training montage or something, and they meet Shanks and it's pretty towards the end of the arc. You know.
Oh, that would be cool. Like, they kind of get their power-ups from Elbaf and kind of size up to see where they're at that point.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because I kind of factored in, like, the Shanks meet up during, like, the main plot of Elbaf.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like Usopp's due for that at this point.
For sure.
Especially being neglected these past, like, since Dressrosa. Basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the other thing that was just from these past couple of chapters, I feel like the Giants' technology is going to be adopted by the Straw Hats in some way, because we saw like the whole thing where they can ride on the rainbow with the painters. It kind of feels like dials from Skypiea, and they put that all technology into their ship. So I'm wondering if, like, imagine the Thousand Sunny blasting off and it's flying and it like projects a rainbow and it just coasts on the rainbow and flies.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
pretty broken. Yeah.
I feel like either the technology is going to be adopted by Usopp for his technology. Maybe Nami gets something for Climate Act or something. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, she just needs more power-ups at this point, right?
I mean, it would kind of fit. Her
it would fit. I'm just saying she's getting so much embarrassment of riches right now, you know.
Well, if Zeus is taken away,
good
by
point.
Big Mom showing up.
Good point. Yeah. Or Big Mom dies finally, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So my next points kind of all revolve around Elbaf. So I feel that there's going to be this is my vaguest one, but I feel like there's going to be some significance to the atom tree that Elbaf is built on. Whether we get more upgrades for the Sunny from the bark of it or whatever, because in the last chapter it specifically said like something to do with the petrified wood of it is where the owl library's at and everything. And I feel like just the symbolism of it, like with the Eve tree relating to the fishmen and everything, there has to be something that happens with the atom tree. Or
totally.
Yeah. I mean, I even heard the wild theory that this is kind of where, like, the atom tree is what produces the devil fruits, but I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but I feel like it's going to have some significance in the story.
I feel like you'd have way more giants with way more devil fruits, so that was the case.
Yeah, because I think...
And the way Haruden described it and with Dressrosa, too, like, he made it seem like, oh, if I get the Marimar no Mi, like, I'd be invincible. You know, kind of like, imagine a giant with the devil fruit, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. But then, relating to that, I feel like because we're all in on Norse mythology at this point with Loki and just Elbaf in general, I feel like we're going to have some sort of Ragnarok equivalent in some way to with this. And I think it would be interesting, like, relating back to the atom tree, because we know at some point that Fishman Island is going to be destroyed. So
yeah,
it would be interesting if both the Atom and the Eve tree locations are destroyed. But I don't know exactly what the Ragnarok situation would look like, but I feel like there's going to be something. Maybe that's what Loki's trying to do. Like he's tricking Luffy into starting it off, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like because Oda took a break to do research for Elbaf.
Okay. That's funny.
So I feel like he's going all in on the Norse mythology stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then my final one for Elbaf, just the end game. I think the Elbaf will ally with the Straw Hats, or there's going to be some sort of giant civil war. Because because we know they're friendly with Shanks. So if half of them support Shanks and half of them support Luffy, because we know Haruden and his crew is all in on Luffy, and like Dory and Bragi are their friends, but they're also friends with Shanks. So
that's a good point. Yeah.
So I feel like there's going to be some sort of tension when and if Shanks shows up.
Yeah, because I kind of think there's this element where Luffy's the anti-world government in a way where the world government would enslave the giants, and then Luffy needs to win out over the giants voluntarily, you know, and then they serve him voluntarily as a nation, you know?
Yeah.
I think that'd be an interesting narrative contrast there.
Yeah, and it would also go against Big Mom too, because she was unable to incorporate giants into her world.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, that's what I feel like is eventually going to happen. And then my next point is my next, I think, 4 points are going to be outside the realm of Elbaf. Like, this is what's going to happen in the world. And I feel like Emu is going to use the Mother Flame again at some point, whether or not it's going to be used to go after Elbaf itself, because we know that, like, Emu knows that Dory and Bragi rescued Luffy, so she knows that he's probably on Elbaf. So, or like, my other thing is that revolutions are going to start around the world. especially with the information that Vegapunk gave out. So potentially to quell some of these revolutions, Emu could use the Mother Flame to destroy those islands. And then my next point relating to that is that Dragon will do something. It could be anything. but
that's the least likely prediction on this list.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Like, unironically, I mean, I'm not. I think narratively, it would have made a lot more sense for Dragon to do something in an egghead, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, and he probably has close to zero connectivity or relation to Elbaf.
Well, I don't think it'll
with the exception of, like, morally, maybe, you know.
But I mean, I don't think it'll tie directly into Elbaf, but I feel like we're gonna get maybe like midway through the arc or toward the end of the arc, we'll get like information like, oh, Dragon's made a move or whatever.
He turned west.
Yeah. No, I don't think he would turn that far. Maybe like southeast.
Southeast, yeah.
Slowly turning.
Yeah, so that's your least likely prediction on this list.
Yeah,
either
that or we get some Dragon lore. Because we know that he came to and had some sort of connection with the Scholars of Ohara, because he came to after the Buster Call was done.
I think he got plenty in the last arc. He did nothing.
I know, but I feel like there's going to be something. Maybe. I'm just waiting for him to do something. I'm holding on to the Dragon stock until the last possible.
Let's just hope it has no one to do with the, you know, like Jenny, you know, people, and he just lets them, bye-bye.
Yeah.
See you later. Have fun. You know, great guy, Dragon is.
Yeah.
Awesome person.
Yeah. But I hope he does something, just for narrative-wise. But this next one I feel like you're gonna agree with, though, that I think Blackbeard's gonna do some wild shit. Because he has Garp, he has Pudding, remember the three-eyed thing, so we could read poneglyphs.
Yeah.
He has Law's rubbings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we're gonna get more. He's gonna do something this arc, not necessarily at Elbaf, but who knows? He could have like someone infiltrate, like he did at Egghead.
Yeah, it would be kind of interesting if he caught up with Law and took his power.
Oh, so you want Law dead?
No, but I like Law. I like Law a lot, but I was just kind of thinking, like, if you did catch up with him and finish him, you know, and like just a Blackbeard with that power, I think would be incredible.
That would be OP.
Yeah,
literally.
Like yeah, like it's immortality for him, and I mean, I don't know. It's just it's an interesting thought, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Who knows? I'd just say, like, yeah, but I do think Blackbeard's gonna make a big move. I think it is. We probably will get a cut to him because of the Big Mom connection. If she is, you know, in this arc, we're probably gonna get a cut to Pudding, consequently, and him making big progress and all the rest. You know, maybe Big Mom will find out. I don't know. It's hard to say. It would be interesting if Big Mom found out, like, her whole nation's more or less just got got like deeply humiliated again. If we saw her reaction to that, I think it would be kind of interesting if we saw Katakuri and Cracker and all them again too. If it was a little bit of like a Yonko war, I mean, it'd be interesting if Big Mom tried to conquer Elbaf, you know?
Yeah. And going back on the Big Mom thing really quick, I feel like we could have potentially gotten news that like Totland was in chaos because like probably part of the country ran on her soul powers. So like probably the infrastructure would have collapsed for some stuff. But
yeah,
I think
the news getting out too of since the Blackbeard pirates raiding that area would be kind of an interesting aspect to think about, so it makes you think if the world government or the Navy and the Seraphim would show up and just conquer it, potentially.
Yeah, that would
like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, they have the manpower to do it. I mean,
yeah.
If the Navy pulled out, okay, if Big Mom continues to stay separated with Katakuri and all them right now, like, if her forces are separated from Katakuri and just send an admiral and a couple Seraphim, they could easily conquer that whole area. Like Negdef, it'd be like super easy.
You think that like Katakuri's going down to a Seraphim?
I know, just an admiral. Just an admiral comes in with some Seraphim, it's over. Like they're not gonna survive that. What they have, Cracker. We saw how Cracker did against an admiral. And then you have Katakuri, and we have Woven, so very high tier character right there. So there is that. So, but like, yeah, I mean, come on, they're getting washed with the manpower they have right there right now. Yeah. It's not looking good for the Big Mom Pirates.
Yeah. So that's your prediction then?
Oh no, well, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah.
Because like if Big Mom shows up to Elbaf, what happens to Totland? And does the world government and the Navy just kind of leave it hanging there? Like, oh, we got word Big Mom left her territory.
Yeah.
Well, let's give her some time to head back. Give her a nice commute, scenic route from when she shows up. Or it's like, no, we can just conquer this place and take over a Yonko's territory.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see that happening. Like, I feel like Oda could cut out of Elbaf like he did with Hachinosu, with Garp and all them.
Yeah, because like I think like you said, maybe Blackbeard would, but like Blackbeard already raided it already, So like he would have just taken it over if he wanted to take it over, But the Navy, I could see that happening, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I mean, that's just kind of my thought right there, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. But any predictions that you have for yourself? Because I feel like I yapped a lot.
No, I mean, I think you covered a lot of the stuff I was kind of thinking about too.
The one thing that I did leave out was like Kobe.
Yeah, that was something I was thinking about too. Yeah,
if we're gonna get any Kobe stuff, we're gonna get any like Smoker or basically like the Marines, what they're doing.
I think if we were to get an update on the Marines, it would just be an update via Kobe because we had so much Marine coverage in the last arc, really. So that's kind of where, and I think we get an update on Kobe. Maybe he's training like crazy to get back Garp and all this stuff. Like he's going next level already, the train and everything. So I think those are some interesting thoughts right there too.
I would like to see that too.
Yeah, because I mean, aside from that, maybe we check in with like Fujitora or Akainu. Those are kind of like the ones we haven't seen too much of lately, so we're not going to check in on Wano because we're already doing it with this terrible, horrific cover story. So that's out of the question, so like, and I think Oda's kind of covered his bases, and I think we've kind of covered enough predictions right here. I think we covered all the big figures, I think.
Yeah, I wanted to do 25 so that it could fill out a bingo board.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So I think we hit it. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. So
cool.
Okay, I guess that's that. So let us know what you think of these predictions. If you have any that you have that we didn't cover, and we will see you for the next chapter review.
All right. Peace, guys. Have a good one.